Hello, middle schoolers and high schoolers. I'm cracking up because I think I have stopped and started making this video 3 or 4 times because right now I'm back in the youth room and I've been back in the office off and on for the past couple weeks, but it sure is lonely here without all of you around. The youth room's not the same when there aren't youth in it, but the office is hopping, and so it's good to have some life back at the church again and not just church at home anymore. So hopefully you all have taken the opportunity to come up to Mass. I know it's a little bit different than it was before, but with the safety precautions in place, I do look forward, as I said, to seeing all of you and to having you receive Jesus again and not just seeing it happen on a screen. In the meantime, I thought it would be fun to issue some service challenges for over the summer. Doing service is much needed at this point in our world. I'm sure you're well familiar with COVID-19 at this point and a lot of the unrest of what's going on in the world, and sometimes offering a little bit of peace and a helping hand to someone who is in need is a wonderful opportunity for us to spread the Christian message. Now, I know that it's hard right now to do service. I would love to gather all of you and my pilot and take you all off to Child's Hope International and pack meals, or to Sweet Cheeks Diaper Bank, or one of the other great places we've worked. But with the rules on social distancing, it's simply not possible. So here's some ideas for what service things that you could do this summer. And in a couple weeks, I'll offer you a couple more ideas. Now, the first idea I'm sure you've heard off and on, and that is to create cards or signs for a nearby nursing home. Now, you will want to call the nursing home first and see if they will accept happy cards or happy signs for doors. We have July 4th coming up. You could offer to make signs for some of their doors July 4th. You get some stickers from I almost said from Staples, from Michael's, and create some fun Happy 4th of July decor. But you will want to check first to see what they can and cannot take. The same would go if you'd want to make some happy things for nurses in a nearby hospital and a COVID wing. There is a COVID wing up at Mercy Fairfield. You can always call and see if you're allowed to bring treats or something to them. They would appreciate it. But again, a phone call ahead of time helps avoid a little bit of pain in the meantime if you put something together and then they can't accept it. So make sure about that first. The second thing is, we have kids who are going to be behind when they go back to school in the fall, especially our elementary ed kids. It's very, very, very difficult for them to get the one-on-one time they needed, especially in reading and math. You can offer tutoring sessions, and there's so many resources online that you could use, and you could do the tutoring sessions online via Zoom. You wouldn't even have to meet them one-on-one. So, but the opportunity for you to meet with that child one-on-one will give them a little bit of a lift up and a helping hand when they go back to school in the fall. For those of you who've gone to grade school at St. John the Baptist or to whatever Fairfield Elementary School you went to, if you would email one of your elementary school teachers, you might be able to get in contact with some kids who might have some particular needs for the fall, or they might just be a good resource for that. You'd be surprised how many parents will take you up and pay you. You could volunteer to do it, or you could do it as a little bit of a job. So see where that leads you, especially for those of you who are good at math and reading. I was never overly good at math, so probably would not have been a math tutor. And for those of you who do have jobs, whether you're going to get paid for tutoring, paid for cutting grass, or whatever you might be doing. I know Mandy, she works at an ice cream place during the summer. Abby has a babysitting job, and we always encourage our kids, and I encourage all of you to give a piece of that to charity. We can encourage up to 10%, but you got to start somewhere. So maybe it's just $10 from a paycheck, and then you just go up from there. You can give it to the church, St. John Newman. We will take your money and we will do fabulous things with your money. We have an outreach program, so a percentage of all the money that you give to St. John Newman goes back into the community, to the food pantry, and to St. Vincent de Paul. And of course, it helps to run our facility. There are other great organizations out there. I just mentioned two before: Sweet Cheeks Diaper Bank, Child's Hope International. If you're having trouble donating online, make sure you ask mom and dad, because you might be able to pay them and they could use their credit card then to make your donation online. Pretty cool way to give back. And you should always give something back to the Lord. The Lord has blessed you in amazing ways, and it's wonderful to share that. Don't forget to check on your neighbors. I know so many of us have elderly neighbors. Even if you just see them out walking their dogs, ask if there's anything they need, or if they need help pulling their trash cans out when it's trash night, or cutting the yard, all those little things that they might need help with over the summer. If they need something from the store, that could be something, for those of you who drive, that could be something that you could help out with as well. I've loved the Chalk the Walk campaign at the beginning of the pandemic, but I feel like we've kind of fallen away from it. I used to love walking the neighborhood in the mornings and see all the messages, but a lot of those messages have disappeared every time it rains. All of it disappears. So I encourage you to chalk your walk, or maybe even chalk up at church here. Just let me know if you're coming up. You can always leave messages for our parishioners. They would love that. Now, the last suggestion I have is to help out your elderly grandparents, though they're not that elderly, or maybe even your own parents. And maybe if you know how to download books from the library, or if you know how to download a podcast, maybe you can help your parents and your grandparents find more creative ways for them to find their favorite speakers, their favorite priest online. We stream Mass here every day, pretty much every day, with the exception of Mondays and Saturdays from St. John Newman. Maybe they're still at home because they're high risk. You could help them figure that out. But there are great priests like Father Mike Schmitz. They have podcasts, and I'm sure you have parents or grandparents who would love to have access to that. They just don't know quite how to use their technology. So there's just a few ideas. I challenge you to do some service. And if you do some service and take a picture, I will make sure that those pictures and your service is published on our Facebook page with your parents' permission. Until next time, and I hope to see all of you really, really soon, either virtually or at one of our live events in July. Have a great one, and I'm praying for you. See you soon. Bye.